What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the show. So today we're going to take a look and listen to Representative Estes. He's going to be talking about Social Security reform. But first off, you guys can do me a favor. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit that little bell notification, and then click all. By clicking all, you'll get notified anytime we post a video. We do daily videos here, so by clicking the bell notification and clicking all, you should be getting updated every day. And once again, thank you for your support. I really appreciate it. You can also show your support by joining our membership. Just click the join button below. You'll get customized emojis as well as custom badges. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look and listen to Representative Estes talk about Social Security reform. Here we go.
Thanks again to each of you for being here. I would like to say we've got one more member coming in before we get before we wave the flag here, so we're going to have one more. No worries.
It would be nice if they were all there, so you don't have to wait for them to come. It's just look at how empty everything is. Ridiculous. Ridiculous. This is a hearing, and you have no one in the room. Very few people. I give credit to Representative Sanchez. I give credit to Representative Larson. They're at least still in the building. But everybody else is gone. You know, Representative Ferguson is there. He's the chair. But just, I mean, wow. I just don't know what to say. Now Representative Sanchez is walking out, but she was there the whole time. And you have these other lawmakers that they'll sit down, they'll say their little statement, ask a few questions if they ask questions at all, and then they'll get up and they'll leave, and that's it. So they're not listening to the experts. They're not hearing what the experts have to say, answering different questions. We're paying these people $174,000 a year, and this is what they're doing. Could you do this in your job? If you had a meeting with, just a group meeting with the boss and everything else, could you do this? Could you just walk out of the room?
I was going to cut you off, but Mr. Larson
it's crazy. Here we go.
Insisted that you get your 5 minutes, so thank you, John, for that. So we will now recognize Mr. Estes for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you, Mr. Larson, for looking out for me. I appreciate that, my good friend. And thank you all for being here today to talk through some of these issues that are so important for everyday Americans. Today's hearing obviously is critically important, as both the CBO and the trustees have, on their most recent assessment, projected that Social Security's trust fund will be unable to pay full retirement benefits starting in 2033. According to the projections, that means that tens of millions of seniors and their families who rely on the programs would experience immediate benefit cuts. Unfortunately, a lot of those folks are already experiencing cuts thanks to the sky-high inflation that's 19.9% since January 2021. And rising prices hurt those on a fixed income, and just like so many of our seniors. A key driver of the inflation is the uncontrolled and insatiable desire to spend. Our debt now stands at $34.6 trillion and grows by $100,000 a second. Simply unsustainable.
Okay, see how he's tying in debt? We're talking about Social Security here. Remember, Social Security is coming from a different bank. Payroll contributions as well as his trust funds. That's where the money is coming from. But he's talking about the national debt, which is separate. But you see, you start talking about them together, and then you believe that Social Security is contributing to our national debt, when it's not.
Even if we got our spending under control in Congress, we still have a problem. And discretionary spending, actually the spending that we get to vote on as members, counts for less than 30% of all government spending. And CBO projects that Social Security will eclipse all discretionary spending, including defense, by 2029.
See what I'm saying? He's tying it in. The spending. We know that spending's coming from a different bank. But he's still trying to tie it into this is the problem. Our national debt is the problem. Okay, if our national debt's the problem, then stop spending the discretionary spending. okay, then stop doing it.
So if we're going to make real changes to preserve Social Security, we have to talk about responsible reform. I know in an election year, there's a lot of rhetoric about how do you cut Social Security, but I think we all can agree we don't want seniors to suffer through that process. And the truth is, if we put our heads in the sand and do nothing now, it's American seniors who will suffer the most. As it stands now, in the next decade, if no action is taken, Social Security recipients will start receiving 75 cents on the dollar when insolvency is reached.
Okay, he's not an expert. Ask questions. That's what I want to hear. What questions do you have for the experts?
I want to talk a little bit about, what's the impact and how are we being impacted. And something that's obviously having an impact on Social Security is illegal immigration. Since President Biden took office, there have been more than 2.15 million encounters on the southwest border alone, and we can't be sure how many people have crossed into our country. Mr. Goss, how do the Social Security trustees account for the impact of illegal immigrations in your assumptions, and has it been accounted for in the current trustees report?
Absolutely, we always have. We look at total immigration, both immigration subject to the legal limits and also undocumented immigration coming into the country. By the way, the undocumented are generally looked at as people who come across the border without documentation. Many of these people come to the country and eventually become legal permanent residents or may have children while they're here who will then be citizens. That actually contributes positively to the economy and to Social Security. So on the bottom line, really, immigration of all forms is actually a positive in the realm that we're in now, where the birth rates in the country are as low as they are. So immigration is actually a positive.
I don't think that's the answer that he wanted.
It's positive in the short term before those individuals start taking benefits, right?
Well, it's positive. Well, it's positive also in the long term, because if we have more people coming into the country, whether they're initially undocumented or not, if they come in their 20s or 30s, which is generally the age range for new immigrants, if they have children, then that adds to the future population. It adds to the growth of our population, which is very much a positive.
Right, which, I mean, we're a country of immigrants, so we want to continue to have legal immigration that has an impact and be able to come out of that shadow economy. Do you take into account any dealings with how much of that folks that have come here illegally and not had a legal right to cross the border, that are more likely working in the shadow economy, that they're paid cash under the table, in which case they wouldn't be captured as far as being able to pay payroll taxes?
If people are literally paid cash, then of course there's going to be no record of that towards benefits or towards their paying in payroll taxes. However, in many cases where people are either undocumented or have come on a temporary visa and overstay it, they're not legal permanent residents. In many cases, those individuals will, through their employers, still be paying payroll taxes that go into the trust fund, and very likely they will never receive benefits. So in addition to the possibility of their having children on our shores, there's a possibility of that kind of immigration actually having a positive. We had a little actuarial note back in 2013 that walks through this in some detail.
Well, I'm about out of time, but I don't know, Dr. Swigel, did you have anything that you could include and talk about your assumptions?
Oh, okay. No, just the same thing, that we're looking carefully at immigration and the share of the immigrants who are paying into the system and the share who are collecting benefits. So it's something we're working on carefully right now.
All right, thank you. And Mr. Chairman, thank you for your indulgence, and I'm out of time. I'd like to ask some more questions, but I will yield back.
Okay, so that was Representative Estes asking questions of the experts. He said he would have liked to ask more questions. Well, guess what? You had a speech in the beginning. You didn't have to put that speech forward. You could have asked questions. Okay, and another thing, when it comes down to it, he wasn't sitting in the room the whole time. So all of the stuff that he talked about, his little speech before he started asking questions, that was already addressed. The experts already talked about all of those things. And so if he were in the room, he would have known that, and he didn't have to go over all of that stuff. He could have just sat down and asked some questions. And plus, he could have asked questions about immigration, because they talked about immigration. He wasn't in the room, but they were talking about immigration prior to this. And so some of those questions could have been answered already, so he wouldn't have to ask those questions again, and then he could have asked some different questions. So this is a perfect example, and I think I stated this in another video where Someone in the comments, actually a few people in the comments have mentioned the fact that there's no one in the room during these hearings. These lawmakers aren't even there. This lawmaker wasn't even there during the time, so they had to actually wait for him. And that's why at the beginning I'm just kind of talking and, saying how disgraceful it is that they're not there. He wasn't even in the room. He just walked in, sat down, put his little speech together, asked a couple of questions, and now he's gone about his day. They're not serious about reforming Social Security, and that's what's, you have some lawmakers that are serious about it, but you have some that just aren't, and that's why they're not moving forward with anything. Some of these lawmakers, they need to be out of office. We need to vote them out because they're not doing anything. They're not helping. They're just sitting there, taking up space. And it's sad. It's a real sad situation when you have, lawmakers that just, they don't care. And the only reason they don't care is because they feel like their job is not on the line. They feel like the American people aren't going to hold them accountable for demonstrations like this. We should be outraged. You have 70 million people currently receiving Social Security benefits. All 70 million of those people should be outraged. And all of us really should be outraged because at some point we hope to be able to receive some Social Security benefits. And you have lawmakers that just, they got 5 minutes of time. They can't even be in the room prior to that 5 minutes. They have to get there the last minute just so they can put a little speech together and then ask a couple of questions. And then walk out. And then leave. They don't even know what's going on after that or what happened before that. It's crazy. It really is. And hopefully, if anything, what you're getting out of this is you have some lawmakers that are there for the long haul. Representative Larson, like I said, he was there the whole time. Representative Sanchez, she was there the whole time. These are people who are serious about reform. They're serious about helping people who are receiving Social Security benefits. And then you have some that just come in for their 5 minutes and leave. And some of them don't even come in at all. Because you can't tell me that subcommittee is only comprised of 10 people, 11 people. I'm sure there are more. And they didn't think it was important enough to come. So I want to know what you guys think, so let me know in the comments below. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe for more, and I'll talk to you in the next one. Bye.